Now that we know a little bit about the Manage Scripts dialogues and the buttons in them, we can go ahead and create our delete contact script. So the first thing we want to do is put up a message when they click that button. We want to say, do you want to delete this contact? Now, finding your script step in this sea of scripts can be daunting sometimes. You have to remember where things are. Sometimes you can remember the name, you can go, okay, it's called show custom dialog, so I'll type in SH. But the problem is it goes to show all records, and you can do it again, but it goes to show omitted only. So that might not be the best way to find show custom dialog here. It might be best to remember it. And I remember it by the fact that it's all the way at the bottom, right inside the miscellaneous section. We can click on it, click move, or you could double click on it to move it over here. And then we look, the highlighted step over here has the options down here. And there's one option for this. We'll hit specify. And there are two tabs here, general and input fields. We're not going to cover input fields right now, just skip that for right now. And there's a lot of options in here such as specify. We're really not going to cover that either. Well, we're going to cover it briefly, but the idea here is we're doing a very basic custom dialog. So we're going to type in quote, delete, contact, question mark, quote. Now you may be wondering why I'm putting quotes around it. Well, that's answered by clicking on the specify button. This is actually a calculation. You can do all kinds of things with fields and operators and functions to make dynamic custom dialogues. But we just want a basic one. So we have to put quotes around it. Now, you don't have to put the quotes around it. If you don't put the quotes around it and hit the tab key on the Macintosh, it will automatically put them in because it doesn't recognize these words. Or, if they're not in there and you click down here, you can go ahead and get those quotes to be automatically put in. As long as it doesn't recognize one of these words as a reserved word like left or something like that. Now in Windows you can't tab, it will give you an error message, but you can click from here to there on Windows to get those quotes to go in. I just type them in, I get used to it. So then we'll go in with our message. Are you sure you want to permanently delete this contact? Question mark. And then quote. So there we go. Well, we got a little mistake here. I'll put a space in there. So now there's our message. There'll be a title and a message. And then we have our buttons. You don't have to worry about what you're typing in here. You can do whatever you want in here. But remember that this is button 1, this is button 2, and this is button 3. Or 1, 2, and 3. That will make a difference later, so remember that. And we don't want our yes or OK button to be the default. We're going to say no, I don't want to delete this as the default. And then yes, I want to delete this as button number 2. So we'll click OK. And now what we need to do is decide which button did they click on. Well, you can do that with the control section. And in the control section you have your if statement. We'll move that over and move over if and end if. End if has no options, but if does. So we're going to go into that and see how to make a decision. When you look here, you'll see that its calculation result must be Boolean. Remember what Boolean is. Non-zero values are true, zero and empty values are false. So we need to make a test in here that comes up with a true or false, basically. And the way we're going to do that is through these get functions. They're right down here. And there's a lot of them. Don't worry about it. There's a lot of them. We'll go over quite a few of them, but you're going to have to explore them on your own and learn them on your own as well. We're going to go look for the one we want, which is get last message choice. There it is right there. We can double click on it. It comes down into here. We're going to say if that equals 2. In other words, this will tell us what button we clicked. And if it comes back 2 equals 2, that will be true. That means that they clicked on the yes button. If 1 equals 2, that means they clicked on no, and it will not do anything between the if and the end if. Only if they click 2, and this is true, will it do the steps between the if and end if. And the step we want to do is delete record, and we'll use type ahead to find that. And in this case, we're going to go down to the options and check perform without dialog because we already did our dialog up here. So if they click yes, we just want to automatically delete it. And that's our whole script. It's a little more complicated, not too complicated, but it also allows us to customize our solution so that there's nothing about records in here. It's now about contacts. So when you're done, you close the script, you hit save, and we're going to make sure we uncheck this because we really don't want this to show under the scripts menu. I usually don't show my scripts under this scripts menu. I just don't find it very useful. A lot of times they're sensitive to the layout you're on, and this shows under any layout, and I just don't like that. So now we're going to go into layout mode, double click on this button, and go up to perform script. It's the first valid step here. It allows you to run a script from Manage Scripts. So we'll hit Specify. Before we do that, just disregard this for right now. We're going to cover this later, and it's not really important right now anyhow. So we'll hit Specify. You'll see all your scripts. We'll select the one you want. Forget about script parameters. We'll cover those later. And now you have Perform Script, Delete Contact. That's perfect. That's exactly what we want. Now, one thing I'm noticing here is that my buttons are getting a little bit too small to fit the data in there. It's probably okay, but we could come in here and resize them if we wanted to. You might have to do that, but I'm going to leave them the way they are for right now. So now we'll go into Browse mode, and we'll click on this button. Are you sure you want to permanently delete this contact? No, I don't. Then we'll hit a new contact, hit the delete contact. Do you want to delete it? Yeah, I'll delete this one. And you can see how it goes ahead and works perfectly, and people don't have to know anything above your interface to work this solution. It's all right there. All the safety and the customization is all right inside the scripting. That's why I love it so much. You can make a solution that doesn't even look like FileMaker. They won't have any ideas FileMaker. And that's really the key. Make a solution that's specific to what they need to do, and it's going to be easier for them to learn and use, and they'll be much happier.